welcome to day one of the ENFP Reboot. For the next 30 days, you're going to watch, if you'd like, a new video every day exploring the ENFP mind. Some days we'll be getting into theories and understanding and insights. Like, why do we think this weird way? Why do we get so frustrated at things and then perhaps quit earlier than other types might? Why are we so good at some things and so bad at other things? Why can we, on occasion, when it's last minute and the pressure's on, do more work in an hour than most people can do in a week? And at other times, we'll look back on an entire week and say, like, I haven't done anything. What the hell happened? That's what this month is going to be about. It's about exploring the best practices and the mindset and the way of being that has worked really well for me in the past, and that, I'll be honest, I haven't been following as of late, at least not everything. And so part of the reboot is my own experience, going through some frustrating times recently. I'll talk more about those in some videos, and missing out on some of these best practices, and my mindset maybe not being quite as optimistic, focused, forward-thinking as it used to be, and wanting to come back to that. It's also about celebrating ENFPs, the fact that we can do big things when we are challenged, when we're excited about it. Like, for instance, I've been struggling to publish a new video a month, and then here we are going to do a new video every day for an entire month. So to take part of this ENFP Reboot, all you need to do is come to the YouTube page here and watch the video every day. So, of course, subscribe to the channel, bookmark the page, hit the bell, and all that sort of stuff. And ultimately, come back. If you miss the odd day, that's okay. The videos will still be here. Part of this month is also not being perfectionist. Because if you quit something every time you miss a little detail or aren't quite perfect or have a cheat meal you weren't supposed to, that's not the best recipe for life. So we're even going to learn a little bit about moderation as ENFPs, which should be fun. Now let's jump right into something. And a topic that I think is really relevant for today is around emotional volatility or reactivity to situations. So when my team and I were discussing about doing this challenge and doing, a month of videos, like every single day, one of the questions that came up is like, do you think you can do that? What if we run into frustrations, technology, you're traveling, going back and forth. I'm in Valencia, Spain now. I'm going to be going to Madrid and, move around quite a bit. Wasn't that going to potentially affect it? And I thought about that a lot because at times I do get frustrated by little things and it throws me off. And then I thought, you know what? This is what I said to them is if I turn it into a challenge and say, you know what, this is all part of it. This is sort of like, hey, how can I figure this out? Or how can we overcome this? Then it's going to change how I'm thinking and I'm going to be a lot less reactive to it. And I'll find a way to do it. So maybe I am on a train when I need to be filming. Cool, I'll find a way to film on the train, Find a way to get to that goal no matter what. And I have to admit, this is an area that at times I am not strong in. If sometimes you see the ENFP-A personality type and there's the ENFP-T. I have videos on both of these types that explain the differences and all that. But essentially, it comes down to emotional volatility and the neuroticism scale on the big five. So if you are an ENFP-T, like myself, it means probably you are more reactive to things. Your emotions fluctuate more often. So you can be having a good day and then something frustrating happens and it throws you off for a couple of hours. And this can really affect us when it comes to things like shiny object syndrome. Probably heard me talk about this before. How we can be pursuing one thing and then we get kind of stuck and we change direction and we do this and then this. And it's like many years go by and we look back and like, what have we actually finished? We start a lot of things but don't finish. Well, emotional volatility can really play into this because what happens is we're on track, we're going towards something. And, we wake up and we're really excited for that day. And then something frustrates us and our mood gets thrown off and, forget it, I'm not going to do this today or whatever. So then nothing gets done. Well, if that happens a couple days a week, suddenly you're only really being productive like 2 or 3 days a week instead of 5 days a week. And that's not even including other things that can come up and, addictions, distractions, whatever else, right? So now you're only really doing 2 or 3 good days a week, and then everyone else you're competing with is doing like 5 days a week or more, and you're not making nearly as much progress, and you get frustrated and you say, this isn't working, I'll go do something else, and then that's kind of part of the shiny object syndrome. And it ultimately comes down to like momentary choices, right? And so the reason I thought to do this topic as our first video here is I was just filming, and I was filming the intro video to the ENFP Reboot and talking about that, and I thought it went really well. And then I checked the footage, and somehow it was all out of focus. You would think for a expensive professional camera that has autofocus, it would keep working, but alas not. I swear, if it turns out this video isn't in focus, I'm gonna jump off the balcony. But I was like, okay, I'll refilm. And then I refilm, and my face is like weirdly red. Now, I will admit, I've got some Irish heritage, whatever. My face is red more often than it should be, but it was like weirdly red in the video. Like, okay, there's another take gone. So now I'm 2 takes gone. I'm stuck trying to figure out the camera settings and all that. Because for this challenge, we're doing a new video every day. We're not using the same editing software and the same settings that we normally would, which involve things like color grading, and basically you film in a totally different way if you're working with a professional video editor, and then they change all the colors and everything after. We're filming a new video every single day and uploading it that same day, which means there's no time for that. So I played around with all the settings and whatever. Anyhow, I definitely had that feeling of just like frustration and, screw it. Fortunately, what I've learned to do, which I would suggest for anyone who maybe like a younger me, if me 10 years ago could see this video, that would be great, is when that happens, just to acknowledge that. Be like, this is a frustrating situation. I'm reacting emotionally to it. This sucks. Like, you create something, it's like losing a file. You write something on the computer, you lose that file. It sucks and it's frustrating. So step back, take a break. I stepped back, I had a bit of a snack, watched a little bit of The Office for a few laughs, was like, okay, let's get back at it. So then I did some tests on the camera, figured out settings. I don't know if these settings will be completely better, but instead of filming up close with just my head, I'm back here now. So even if I look red like a tomato, you won't be able to even tell. So take a break, step back, and then come back to the work. There's other things that can really help with emotional volatility and essentially mood swings is what it comes down to, or being really reactive to frustrating situations. Other things that have helped a lot is things like diet, sleep, exercise, basically the fundamentals for your brain, right? So if you're eating really well and exercising and sleeping well, your brain, even if you're wired to have more volatility like I do, you're going to be less volatile because your brain's operating at its best. Where if you have a lot of things going on, you're stressed, you're drained. I mean, we all know this, right? If you're taking it on all ends and you're not sleeping well, or in my case, I just got to Spain last night, late at night. So I had all the packing and things I don't like doing in Prague, a few sort of frustrating days, and then flight, tired, get here, etc. So not at my best yet. And so I found myself being more reactive than I should have been. And what helps is, step back, take a breath, take a break, go exercise. If I had more time, probably I would go out, go for a run and reset things, but then I'd have to shower again and get ready to film, and then the light would be changing outside and I'd be starting all over with new settings. So here we are. So that is our topic for this first day. It's about finding ways to be less reactive, and if you are reactive to a situation, step back and then give yourself a break and then come back to it after. Because ultimately, when you're thinking about your life as an ENFP and how you can change directions and bounce around, a lot of the time it isn't the macro. It's not like on a monthly basis you're doing it. It's actually these little moments that stack up. And if you keep being frustrated and quitting on things on a daily basis, then it ends up happening in the big picture and then creating this whole shiny object syndrome thing. So when you feel that, rather than quitting for the whole day, Like step back and say, hey, I need a nap, I need a run, I need a snack, whatever it is, and then come back to the same thing and pick up where you left off for the rest of the day. And when you are in that reactive state, don't make decisions you can't turn back. So, don't say things to people you're going to regret. Don't quit things. Don't delete things. Just step back, take the break, refresh yourself, and then come back to it in a better headspace. I'll see you tomorrow for day 2 of the ENFP Reboot.